This church is the Basilica de Santa Maria de Ascentia, but actually it's not one church but two churches. You see, underneath the staircase and organ is a 5th century church which the larger structure was built around.
The church below the stairs was actually originally built to house a very famous Madonna painting that pilgrims would travel for miles around to pray for health.
But it was actually covered in volcanic rubble during one of the landslides, and wasn't rediscovered for hundreds of years until a family who was building a home there was digging a foundation and discovered it. But they decided to keep the secret to themselves and not share it with anyone. But another landslide came and ended up killing the whole family, miraculously. Then another family found it, but this time they decided to share it with the world. Then, in the 1700s, a Dominican monk decided to preserve the inner church by building this massive church around it. The monk's greatest difficulty was showcasing the inner church while maintaining an altar for the outside church. To do this, he placed staircases on either side which directed your attention towards the front of the church and also led you to go down into the older church. On either side of this 5th century church are frescoes. On the left side, there are frescoes dedicated to male martyrs, and on the right side, to female martyrs. The crypt is much the same, with males being buried on the left and females on the right.
You can see behind the painting, it looks like this section of the cathedral has yet to be restored. I think they're working on it. The ceiling is in definite need of some new paint, but it's amazing that they are able to keep this place up and looking so nice.
On this side, we can see what the painting looks like before restoration, with it part of the fresco just falling apart.
We're not sure if the painting is to be restored, but it looks like they're doing this church section by section, and that this section is next.
This is also a sculpture.
Restoring that painting. It seems they've put pieces of canvas over it so you can start again.
So 17th century, in this case we have Santa Caterina. This one was made by Giovanni Balducci, the same painter that I told you before. Okay?
Yes.
So, as you can see, there is a mashup of different periods in this place. And, well, I want to show you something else too. Right over there. As you can see, there's nothing here. But I want to show you this, because you can probably realize, just watching the upper area, that here there was a passage between. Okay, so, first of all, what about a catacomb? What's a catacomb? A catacomb is a graveyard, cemetery, okay? Provided with different graves too. I mean that sometimes you can find the graves on the pavement that we call forme. We're going to see them later. We have the graves on the wall, just like this one, the loculi. And you can find little rooms sometimes, just like the one that was into the previous room, with other kind of graves, just like this one behind me. This is a narcosolium, well, the richest kind of grave indeed. A custodium, in this case, decorated by mosaic, but that's not an average grave, that's a bishop's grave. It's written up there, Hic requiescit in pace sanguadeotus Episcopus. Over there, there was the San Galioso, there is the San Galioso's grave. So what about San Galioso? I told you that he was an African saint. Actually, he came here around 439, escaping by the North Africa. He was a bishop over there, the Bishop of Abitine. Actually, he escaped by the wars of the Vandals, mounted by Genserico III, the king of the Vandals. So he came here in Naples, into the historic center. So there was the avalanche. This place was completely sealed by the ground. And during the 16th century, there was the discovery, 17th century, the new church, and well, the graves that we're going to see right now. And the rest of the wall here was decorated by fresco, bearing the skeleton, and some symbols of the person's life or job, just like down there. And this one was a warrior. He's holding the sword. Well, he says, son, you have to preserve the justice, and you will see that God will thank you for this in the future. Okay? Very, very interesting one. And Scipione, well, he says another thing. He says, today was my turn. Tomorrow will be yours. so today I died, but well, why she's here? Actually, because during the making of the actors into as a painter, now this is the reason why he's holding the paintbrush here and the colors palette. Well, as you can see, this gallery is quite interesting, but actually was made on a previous gallery. Next room we have the large and the extra large. In the third one there are the extra large and the double extra large. So that's quite interesting too, because if you go into the third room you will see that the whole up there is the biggest one. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Back here is the rear side of the restoration of the painting from the catacomb side. I'm probably not supposed to be here.
Those are probably pieces. The system was used as a part of the catacomb. In fact, there was the making of the grace performance, the grace of payment, the locally, and the little rooms. Yeah.
At this point, it was 10:47, so we ran to the Catacomb de San Gennaro and barely made the 11 a.m. tour, which started a little late.
And the soil, this is the grave. And as you can see, they were the most important kind of graves because they could have a decoration. And the decoration could be in frescoes or in mosaics. And they are based inside these little rooms of this church. And this is the center, all the center made. Imagine that these churches were lit in the past. If you look on top, you can see that. They destroyed the previous Christian paintings. It is frescoed in a typical Byzantine style. From the cities, yes. And here, as you can see, where we are now is the oldest part of the catacombs. This is the place used by Roman people, and it is dating back to the 2nd century AD. If you look around here, the frescoes you can see are typical of the classical style. There are big geometric patterns, can see over there to the left the face of that woman. She was Rufina, and that was her grave. Okay, and in the floor here, you can see how the graves into the floor were closed by this kind of marble. Saint Agrippino, but if I want, I can switch off all the lower level. Okay? And it is very important for us. So when we started, we were just in 4. Today,
So we just finished up at
The Catacombs.
the Catacombs, and we've checked out of the Airbnb, and it's around one-ish right now. Our train starts at 3, but we picked up these little pizzas for €1.50 each. It's crazy. This place is reviewed by some of the best street vendors in Naples, and Bill Clinton was there also, which is pretty cool. So if Bill likes it, I also do. All right, see y'all there. Hey everybody, we are just leaving Naples right now. It was so difficult to get our tickets. The URL did not give us the tickets that we bought in Italy, so when we got there, they're like, okay, you need to pay 20 euros, and I was like, per train for the reservation. I was like, no, I already paid online, while like translating all this on my phone. And then he sends us to another guy. We go to the other end of the counter. I show the translation, and then he brings it to his boss. And then they're like, okay, they already paid, what do we do? And then he's like, okay, come down to the other end of the corner now. And we're just like, okay, what is going on? So we went back and forth and thought we were good because they gave us our tickets. They printed off some of them, like the next 5 or 6 for Italy. And then we were like, okay, we're fine. So then we go back, and then we finally read the pass for the URL tells us what to do. It's like, oh crap, there's a bunch of things we actually haven't done. So we fill in all of our names and like do the stuff.
Passport numbers and dates and all that stuff.
And then we find out that we're like, oh, we need to get it stamped again. So we go back in line, wait a while, see our friend. We're like, we need the stamp, please. He's like, okay, go to the other end of the corner. And then they finally called us, got our stuff, and then got on this train, the 305 train, with like
Just barely, maybe 4 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes to spare. And we got to the train station an hour and a half early, and we thought we'd just be waiting the whole time. Thank goodness we got here early.
And that we don't have big luggage.
Exactly.
If you show up,
Oh yeah.
all they have are those little overhead compartments.
Yeah, it's not a lot of room.
So if you have like gigantic luggage, which a lot of people do, you're kind of stuck. You either have to keep it at your feet or you have to try and jam it up there. So thankfully our bags fit up nicely. But
Yeah. So, guess we're good.
we'll stress them, but we're on the train. We're good.
Yep, we'll be in Rome at 4:15. Yep, and I'm gonna edit this video a little bit, and we'll see you guys in the next one.